Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. You're now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to say that this is episode 722, emotional bank account versus financial bank account. And so we're really excited about doing this episode today for everyone that's listening live or as well listening to replay. And really think that this is a very important topic to bring up as trustees enroll in trustee training and they ask, various different things about trustee training and wanting to move forward ultimately with trustee training and move forward in their life as a trustee, whether that's privately or publicly. And so we're here to talk about that episode today to discuss what really is going to run out first. And so some people say, well, Judge Christian, what do you mean which account's going to run out first? You got a financial bank account, you have an emotional bank account. Just like we have a logical side and we have an emotional side. So we're going to talk about that today. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's email Christian at trustchristian.com if you'd like to get a consultation. Really are jam-packed right now. And anyone that wants to reach out, know how to get a consultation, Christian at trustchristian.com. People reach out every day. Some people need brief consultations. Some people need us to come in and, take care of the whole family, make sure that the whole family's taken care of. We've consulted families, multiple families of the same family on lines before, and we work with individuals. But this particular episode, we're going to be talking about the emotional bank account and the financial bank account versus the financial bank account that we've seen with trustees and individuals that come through the vault. And this could be just purely as a consultation. This could be just enrolling in the trustee training. And let's talk about it today. Emotional bank account. This is a very near and dear episode to our heart because one of our mentors brought this up to us, and we didn't really know that there was a difference. But what's interesting is the mentor said, "Trust Christian, you gotta learn that there's an emotional bank account and there's a financial bank account. And most people, they run out of their emotional bank account before they ever run out of their financial bank account." And this is a very important thing to be noted or stated or aware of, because you think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is somebody clearly that's successful that's saying, hey, you got to address the emotional element of being a trustee as opposed to just being a logical, oh, I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, there's a difference between thinking you can do it and feeling you're going to do it. A lot of people are not emotionally congruent for wealth. If they were, they would have it. It's an emotional congruency. It's an emotional intuitive feeling that you know thyself, that you know that you are wealthy. How you know that you're a generational wealther? Then they got so many that say, how you gonna say you focused on generational wealth? You're not focused on making millions. What is generational wealth? A couple $100,000? So if it's not a couple $100,000 and it is the millions and all this other stuff, okay. Well, let's talk about it. The emotional bank account looks like us as individuals making it a point to show up when we don't feel like it. Doing more than what sometimes we're asked for. Playing a humble servant role. It's not a people pleaser, it's playing a humble servant role. Doing more than what's asked. Taking a leadership role. Knowing that the greatest server is the greatest leader. They say, oh, Trust Christian, is this emotional? Yes, it's emotional. Why? Because people get to these moments and they don't want to do it. I don't want to show up every single day. I don't want to show up every single week. I don't want to show up, Trust Christian. I have the flu. I heard there's a flu going around. This is how they speak. Oh, Trust Christian, man, I had to cancel. Why are you canceling meetings for? Yeah, that's like saying you canceling a meeting with a millionaire. This is how you know people don't value people the way they think they do. Why? We ain't canceling no meetings. What are you canceling meetings for? Did you cancel your meeting to go to the bathroom today? No. So why would you cancel a meeting that you planned in advance to make sure that this can better your financial future or your family? Because you're not emotionally serious. You say, oh, trust Christian, it's a life or death situation. That's the difference. Most of the time, they're not. The cancellations just come from, here we go. Y'all say, oh, what does the cancellation come from? It comes from somebody saying they're not prepared. It'll come from somebody saying that they weren't ready. It'll come from somebody saying that they didn't do what they were supposed to do, what they said they were going to do. And guess what? If they only understood, that's poverty mentality. We've already done interviews with third generation wealthers that'll come on the line and tell you, you gotta be willing to fail. Oh, did he say that word? You don't want to hear that, Trust Christian. I don't want to hear that, Trust Christian. I don't want to hear that I have to fail. I don't like failure. I've been halfway mediocre my whole life, so that means I get just enough, but I don't have the big dreams and the big goals, and I don't really see those things happening unless I change something. Exactly. What do you got to change? Trustees know what they got to change. It's intuitive. Because it's your higher self, it's your wealthy self telling you what you're supposed to be doing. But then it's your poverty self that'll tell you, oh yeah, Trust Christian, I'm gonna cancel the meeting. I'm not showing up today. Why you not showing up? What you not showing up for? So if you have millions of dollars under management right now, you the leader, you not showing up to the meetings? Even if you, oh, we had one individual we dealt with this past week. Once again, there are many people we know. A lot of people listen. For all of y'all that's going through anything, y'all talk to Trust Christian. This is not a personal thing. It's just the facts. It's not personal. So when we talk about what we talking about over the internet, some trustees will listen. Some people listen, say, "Is he talking about me?" We're not throwing no underhanded nothing. It's straight up facts. So if you are that person, then you can hear and relate. But if it's not you, then you don't relate, but you may still get it and understand. So here we go. Oh man, Trust Christian. My back is hurting. I got back pains. My back is hurting. I can't show up to a meeting. Or at the end of the day, we had one individual in the past 7 days showed up to the meeting. Back was hurting. The back was hurt. We don't know about that at the vault, but we also that's what they said. Oh man, my back was hurt, but they still showed up for the meeting. That we already know they in pain. They said they was. It's just like anybody else that would say they in pain from it. So if you in pain from it, we understand that. But what happens when you show up to the meeting and people don't even know you in pain on the call? And they just know you sitting over there being a little bit more quiet. Sometimes, and this is what some people don't want to hear, the emotional bank account is being emotionally vulnerable. So what you do is, like this individual we talking about this past 7 days, they literally, they even told us multiple times, whether it was before the call or maybe they made an excuse on the call and said, hey, I just want to let you all know if I'm out of my normal self, that I'm feeling kind of loopy and I'm feeling a certain type of way, and I just wanted to let y'all know I wanted to show up, but if I draw a blank or anything, just know I'm dealing with some things. And guess what? Guess what? When you allow people to understand you, you get understanding. When you allow people to understand you emotionally, I'm going through pain, Trust Christian. I got pains in my back. I got pains in my life, my family, my this, my that. Right? When you have the pains, you share. Hey, Trust Christian, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm going through, mentor. This is what I'm going through, business partners. Why? So they can be understanding. That's not rocket science. How's somebody gonna be understanding for you just not showing up? Okay, cool. See, the thing about it is most people not used to being counted on. That's all. Because if you play a game, oh, we playing generational wealth. If you play in a game and it requires a certain number of players, you and the other person that you're working with to show up. So we need two people. We can't play the game without two people. And you sitting over here not showing up. That's that's emotional bank account running out. Oh man, I ain't showing up, man. I ain't showing up, man. Y'all don't even want to know. because we've been trained differently. It's actually called mental toughness. We were talking about that, and so many don't understand that that's the case. Is is are you gonna quit, or are you gonna stay emotionally resilient? See, these are real words. Emotionally resilient. So people who come through trustee training, all they want, oh, trust Christian, I'm gonna be a trustee. Ladies and gentlemen, trusteeship is a role, responsibility, and duty. You become the vanguard for the family estate. Some people might not take it that seriously, but the ones that do, they're gonna excel. Because the emotional bank account says, oh man, it's not just some new skills and talents and abilities that I gotta develop and learn. I gotta be willing to take the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights. I gotta be willing to take the punches. I gotta be willing to stand up to the paperwork. I gotta be willing to stand on the business. I gotta be willing to stand on my square. I gotta be willing to stand on the paperwork. Oh yeah, Trust Christian, you didn't really, what you mean stand on the paperwork? Are you able to stand on the paperwork? Are you able to stand on the paperwork? How many people can stand on their, oh, I know I'm not a dead entity. I know I'm not a legal fiction. I know I'm not that. So you're a master of the emotional and the financial bank account actually. Well, we have so many trustees that hey, we'll give you examples of trustees that get it. Because some people say, oh, Trust Christian, you tell us the negative stories or the stories that people, they're in pain and that's how's that bad? Okay, we share with you a story where there's people that we work with currently that, yes, they showed up to meetings with a back pain. So some do show up with back pain, some don't. Some people say, who can you be empathetic and share the truth? Is everybody's not the same? That's the point. Which one are you going to be? We know trustees, we know people that will show up with back pains. It doesn't matter how bad it is. They just show up because they understand the game can't be played without them. That's what they know. They know that we need two people, or they know we need 11 people, or they know that they're sitting at the table as the board, on the board, and they got to show up. They know that, and they do. And they also are emotionally vulnerable. So some people will come on the line with Trust Christian in the vault, and they'll say, okay, tell me the hard way. Tell me the way that's gonna give me the emotionally make the emotional jump. So Trust Christian leans in. In the vault we lean in. And we let them know. You'll see somebody working a job. Next thing you know, they have their own business. They wanting to start their own business. They have some plans doing their own business. And they go out and they start their own business. And then they end up quitting their job in less than a year. For sure. Most of the time, most trustees that make that transition, the ones that do it, they do it in less than a year. For sure. The ones that take the trustee information seriously, they definitely get rid of their job in a year. And they learn how to get out, and they already have something that they were selling. A lot of trustees sell products. We have many. Well, yeah, we have actually have a trustee in the past year. They they were they were working for a really good job, and they making significant money, and they have real estate. So we asked them, what is their number to where, how much cash flow do you need coming in from real estate? How many acquisitions do you need in real estate for you to do that full time? And within a matter of, they had things already going on, trustees that are moving in the right direction, but making another emotional jump because, when you're providing for your family, you have that so-called fake sense of security from a job, then they have to make that emotional jump. And we work with many trustees that have made that emotional jump for sure. They've the ones that actually do it less than a year for sure. And you don't even want to know they do it in less than 6 months. 6 months, short period of time, and they do it just because the transition isn't as hard as people think it is. It's really more of a mindset. It's an emotional jump. They're making an emotional jump from saying, okay, yeah, I have a job and then I have a part-time business. But in our sector, we tell you there is no part-time business. So once we eliminate that thought process, it's either you are in front of entrepreneurs and they're telling you it's full-time, or you just don't take them seriously. It's full-time. So we definitely are really excited about trustees, and sharing the righteous stories, or stories that sound good, and really just wanting to give vigor on how you're dealing with the emotional element of being a trustee, transitioning as a trustee, because it can be very, well, some people call it overwhelming. Oh well, what do you mean it's overwhelming? When you're making an emotional jump, it's an emotional jump. It's not just, oh, when you're making a jump in life from one position, oh, I'm working every day, paycheck to paycheck, and then I'm jumping to financial independence. That's a jump emotionally. It's not just physical, it's emotional. It's a logical jump. It's not just a financial jump, it's an emotional jump. And we're here to share with you all that that emotional jump is actually just as important compared to the financial bank account. So many people say, "Oh, trust Christian involved. Do I really need to really make sure that I have my emotional bank account tied in?" Ladies and gentlemen, you're the reason why we bring in the episode to you all is because we are living it. We can hear it. They don't want to address this in business sometimes because it is a emotional thing. Once someone's mind gets racing on the emotions, they almost will say they're not thinking logically. And when you think about that, that lets you know they're not preparing. That's why they're not prepared. Because they didn't put it into a sequence. They didn't put it into the process, systems, and procedures. They didn't put it into that yet. They don't have a system. They don't know the system. They don't think that they need to operate with a system. Oh man, they're emotionally bound. You think things aren't going to come up in the family where they're going to have to make decisions, and for that reason, it could be an emotional moment, and people still have to think logically. People still have to think with straight critical thinking. You think that's not the case? That is the case. And so putting something in a structure in place, putting a organization in place buffers people's not showing up, people's emotional deficiencies. Oh man, Trust Christian, I know you gonna be around forever. I know I will be able to contact you forever. Cause I don't know when I'm gonna make all the money that I need to make, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, well, if you say so. What's your goal? Is your goal to be around people? Is your goal to be bothered by people after you're financially independent? If you were financially independent right now, would you take phone calls from strangers? Would you deal with as many people as you think that Trust Christian involved deals with? You think you would deal with those? You think you would continue to? That's why we still do it to this day, because we know we love it. Because it's an emotional thing. You gotta love it. Most people don't love their work. You gotta love it. That's why when they hear the word work, they cringe up. Oh man, Trust Christian. That's why when they hear the word study, go hit the law library. When they hear the, oh, I gotta study the legal dictionary, they don't do it. Oh man, everybody's outside. It's getting warm outside in the northern hemisphere. Okay, we're gonna share with y'all the secret. Might be the hardest thing to hear. We talk to trustees about this all the time. If you dreaming big, you gonna show up. You're not a guest to the party. It's your birthday. You're gonna show up to your birthday party. And you're gonna show up with your best outfit. And you're gonna show up and you're gonna be thankful for all the people that admired the work that you put in silently. That the study that you did. The made the hard decisions. The emotional I gotta do what I gotta do mentality. You showed up. You don't show up for one person or the other. You show up for everything. Oh, trust Christian, is that real? Hey, how do you want to find out? How do you want to find out? The emotional bank account? What are we talking about here? Yes, there's gonna be a mentality of what people will call positive. Your attitude. Oh, trust Christian, when the negative moments come, they trigger me. I get triggered. You get triggered. I get triggered. Yeah, okay. Well, these are adults saying this now. It's not a child. Children, they will get triggered. Adults, if you're getting triggered, where's the emotional congruency? The emotional control to whip your emotions back into shape and say, this is the direction that I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing it for. I'm excited about doing it. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do it. Or do they wake up dreading it? I don't want to go to the law library another weekend of this crap. Oh man, honey, man, we gotta put in the money so we can go to this conference with Trust Christian in the vault. We gotta put in the money to go to the conference, honey. Yeah. How many times did you do that yet? How many times did you say, okay, you're gonna make the really you think it's a financial sacrifice, but it's an emotional one. Why? Because if you only knew, just like you had that money to have it now that you're afraid to invest, then you can get it back. If you actually went to the conference with what the Lord has blessed you with, you actually will receive more blessings. But because you're hoarding your cheese, you're hoarding your bread, you're hoarding your chips, you're coveting your chips, not knowing that the power source that gave you the chips gonna give you more chips. You hoard your chips, so you don't invest in the trips. You don't invest in the site visits. It's just they don't dream. This is we gonna keep going over this. We have no problem talking about this in the public because it's a non-adult thing to talk about. Oh man, I don't want to talk about dreams. Okay, well, a dream has to get turned into a goal, but it's still something that if everybody say, "Oh, I got goals, I set goals every year," then that means you have dreams. But the thing about it is, most people ain't dreaming big enough. They not dreaming big enough for sure. How you gonna say you want to be generational wealthier and you afraid to invest money, not spend it? See, if you spending money, that's why you feel a certain way. But if you invest in the money, you looking for a return on the money. So when you go to the conference, oh, it's my last few nickels and dimes, Trust Christian in the vault. The mentors conference costs $5,000. The trustee training costs $5,000. This other conference costs $2,000. Oh man, this other mentor, his conference, it costs $20,000. Right. You don't want to know that some of the mentors, masterminds cost $20,000. What was that? That's the cost of a year of college education. Yeah, we're also meeting at a private mansion. We're also staying there for a week. We're also making it a point to have wealthy conversations. We're also doing leisure activities. You do go to these private events that you're at a golf resort. You're at a ski resort. That's I've been going to resorts for vacation, but I ain't gone to no resorts for no private wealth event. Exactly. But what can you say? Oh man, I'm spending money, I'm spending money, I'm spending money, I'm spending and I'm surfing. I'm spending and I'm surfing. That's all they want to talk about. See, once you get control of your words and you say the difference between spending and investing, the emotional element goes away. Because every time we invest something, whether y'all want to hear this or not, of course we have an expectation of return. But it's only poverty-minded people that say, "Oh, you want to deal with people on a transactional basis. You're just a transaction guy. You don't have emotional relationships. You have transactional relationships." That's what the goofies say in the public. Or you only have transactional relationships. That's a business relationship, correct? You're meeting on mutual terms. How is it not transactional? That's what the marriage was supposed to be. But oh no, no, you got trustees who say, "Oh, I love this person." So why are you divorcing them? Why you don't just divorce them on paper but stay with them if you love them? But they don't do that because it's a financial situation, but it's not. They're emotionally drained. Somebody's not getting their emotional bank account overflowing. That's just how it is. So when you pouring from a half empty cup, you tired of pouring. You don't want to run out of your chips. They don't want to run out of chips, so they're emotionally coveting what they have left. Simple as that. But when the dream's big enough, you always willing to divide and continue to conquer. Oh, you want this portion? Cool, keep it. I'll go get more. I'll go build more. We'll go build more generational wealth. But most people not looking to build generational wealth because they know it seems like an insurmountable feat because of their previous programming and their family and their friends that don't have it. But when you get around other people that have it, you just, especially when they talk to you, how you gonna sit here and say this person's better than you? How you gonna sit here and say this person is something different? They had to go do something and they stayed consistent. Now, if y'all want to sit here and say, oh, well, what about the people that inherit the wealth, Trust Christian? Look, y'all don't really want to know. Most of us that are truly wealthy, our families, you don't really just get money directly. So you would never give your children a certain amount of money because we also aren't stupid. We read the statistics. You don't give somebody something they haven't quote unquote like had a mindset to earn or develop because they don't really know what it is. Sure, they might not know how to do it or everything, but they don't know what it is. So usually we have a grooming program. You have a rites of passage program. They come into the family meetings at a young age, 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years old. Of course we've had trustees sit in meetings at 5, 6 years old. For sure. Why would they not? People think that that's bad. All your kids in the background making all this noise. Mute out. Oh, we got a little area in the corner for the kid to play with their toys. Yes. They see how all of us are dressed. They see how all of us are talking to each other. And they see, okay, I can stand in here. Oh, they always shake each other's hands. They always stand up straight when they talk to each other. They all seem like they're smiling and like each other. They all seem like that in the room. Then when we go home, mom and dad, they may or may not talk about these people. So what's the emotional congruency you're giving to the child directly or indirectly? Do they dream big? The emotional bank account gonna pull you through. It's not gonna be the financial bank account. It's almost like this episode could be about cause versus effect. The cause is the emotional bank account, how emotionally resilient you are. The effect is the financial bank account, how much is actually gonna grow or not grow. What is your emotional bank account like? They're not gonna address this in the public. Why would they address this? This is a private topic. Because it gets into your feelings and it gets into the psychology and the psychiatry. Like, that's just being real with people. This is the reality of the situation. Are you doing things that emotionally pull you out of your comfort zone to grow into a new financial bank account status? Oh, Trust Christian, I didn't know it was that simple. Is literally that. Are you emotionally moving forward? Not, oh, I gotta will my money. I gotta pray to God every day. I gotta pray every 5 seconds. Man, Lord, oh Lord, please bless me. Please bless me. Yeah, you begging. Please bless me is begging. Because they're not emotionally thankful yet. They didn't receive it emotionally. So we'll go ahead and break it down. We used to ask our mentors these type of questions. This type of questions, Trust Christian involved, we ask our mentors. So we're like, all right, which one came first, the thought or the emotion? Now, only a Rufus Doofus is going to sit here and say, oh yeah, Trust Christian, the emotion came first. How the emotion going to come before the thought? First you have a thought. Then you have emotions associated with the thought. Because the thought could be a concept. It's an abstract thing. So it's a thing, then it has a meaning. The meaning is the emotion we assign to it. The meaning is the emotion we assign to it. Really? Yes, the emotions. Then after you have your thinking and your emotions, then you can get to your actions. You can get to the receiving of the money. How you gonna receive the money if you don't feel you deserve the money? You got people talking about, oh yeah, I don't want to deal with Federal Reserve notes. What do you think the universe is gonna give you? They ain't going. Universe not gonna give you no Federal Reserve notes. You don't like Federal Reserve notes. You don't want Federal Reserve notes. You disdain Federal Reserve notes. You disdain the system, and you disdain Federal Reserve notes. You disdain the system. Emotionally versus the financial. And trust Christian in us, we can speak from experience within the vault. We've had to develop this throughout the years. Yes, you have to develop it. It's one of those things. You develop it over a period of time. You develop your emotional bank account just like you build your emotional bank account just like you build your financial bank account. You have to build the accounts, and you build them at the same time. And so many people, we're gonna go ahead and double down on this point and highlight this and hop off. Here we go. Some people are going to say, oh, trust Christian. I think I'm emotionally intelligent. I know what empathy is. I know what sympathy is. I, I'm emotionally intelligent. I can feel people's vibrations and all of this. Oh, really? Okay. Well, here we go. The mentors, they don't train us in that. They don't train us in emotional intelligence. Oh, trust Christian, are you serious? What are you talking about? You just went through a whole episode about emotional intelligence. How are you going to say they didn't train you in emotional intelligence? They didn't. They trained us in systems, thinking. That's what they trained us in. Y'all want to talk about, oh, trust Christian, how you be making through these situations and how you emotionally deal with the things if that's the case. You got to have a system in place. It's the system that you operate in or the system you create for others to operate in. It's the system. It's like a solar system. What is your system like? Is your system asking or is your system giving? What is your system? Oh, trust Christian, this is a little too logical. That's all it is. And we already talked about it. There's a logical and an emotional side. And most haven't overcome the emotional side. So how are you going to get to the logical side, the higher thought? How are you going to get to a pure thought? A pure thought of righteousness, a pure thought of success. How you gonna get to the perfect thought if you emotionally clogged up? Oh man, trust Christian, I don't believe in this stuff. I don't want to think about systems. I'm just gonna emotionally meander it. I'm gonna wing it. Okay, wing it then. I'm gonna let my spirit guide me. Okay, well let your spirit guide you. Your spirit has already given you a logic and a emotion, so they both are real. You know you have emotions, right? Right. And you know you have logical thoughts, right? So you use both. You don't neglect one or the other. People talk about balance all the time. Everybody want to talk about balance. Oh, I bet balance. I got to be balanced. Well, if you're balanced, that means you're aware of your thoughts. You're aware of the thinking aspect of it just as much as you're aware of the emotional element of it. And whether people know it or not, emotional could be considered primal. So when we talk about, emotions, that is a very important thing because that's why we're talking about it today. There are so many trustees that are having, we all do, we all have to overcome. So we're bringing it to the light that open up the conversation so you can address this with yourself internally and say, wow, okay, how do I address this situation? How do I address the emotional situations I run into as a trustee, having to quote unquote focus on building generational wealth? And we went over some thought process today. And one of them is systems thinking. And that may sound counterintuitive. A lot of people say, I don't know what a systems thinking is. All right. Reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. We'll go over and give some resources. That's what we do. At the end of the day, that's the most important part, is getting those training tools that you need in place to be successful. Bottom line, how do you become successful? The emotional bank account, it gets fortified from that point forward. There's no lacking in the emotional financial account. There's no lacking in the financial account. I mean, excuse me, the emotional account, and from there the financial account takes off. It's no emotional lacking. That's all it is. It's that simple. It's like that simple, trust Christian. That simple, really. A lot of the times you just gotta overcome yourself. Like we say, a lot of trustees. Sometimes the thing that we're proud of at the vault is that we work with trustees and they'll take that jump. So trustees will trust Christian in the vault, and they take that jump. And just know that trustees, for all of y'all that listen, and y'all wonder like, oh man, I'm taking a jump. Just know Trust Christian is always taking jumps. In the vault, we're always taking jumps. We're always going in different rooms and looking to work with different people, putting it all on the line and making sure that we're all squared up. Like those are very important things. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens, and replay. You all can feel free to reach out. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, Christian at trustchristian.com. Feel free to reach out. Other than that, we appreciate individual that typed into the chat. Uh, a lot of times it all comes down to just being around the right people too. We're around people, but are you around wealthy people, or are you around poverty, or are you around those things? And you know the men we do this podcast with pride, because we are aware of what people would consider saying how challenging it is to get out of that foothold, especially if you're not around wealthy people. Some people are exposed to wealthy people and they still go back to the hood, or they'll go to, a slum or something, or not a wealthy area. But once you get to the point where you're around wealthy people, your lifestyle changes, your where you're living changes, your what you wear changes, where you go changes. And that's the challenge, is some people are sometimes not emotionally around it enough to be comfortable to say, okay, it doesn't matter what other people have, it's all about what you want. And for that reason, when you get to the point where you say, okay, this is what I want, then at the end of the day it's all over. It's you kiss it goodbye, because you've been given the keys to freedom of knowing thyself, which is, I can do this because I desire it, and it's okay to desire things that I want. It's okay. It's okay to say I gotta tell somebody no because I don't want to, because I gotta focus on some other stuff right now. It's okay. It's okay. But most people, how do I go and do that? It's emotional for me. And they don't know that their beliefs, which are emotional, their values, which are emotional. Oh man, trust Christian man, and I'm not going to do that because I don't know that I'm supposed to do that. Okay. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening, replay. We're just sharing with y'all some of the things that you encounter as a trustee and how you persist and push forward. We have trustees that'll say, "Oh, I fell off from trustee training, but I want to get going again." All right, well, at the end of the day, you're not getting going for Trust Christian in the vault. You're getting going for your family estate. Just know that it's for your family estate. It's for you to do what you say you're going to do, which is have generational wealth for generations. We hear trustees come on the line. People come on the line all the time. Oh yeah, Trust Christian, I gotta trust. Yeah, they gotta trust. And guess what? They don't know how to manage it. Don't know the name of that. They don't know who's the beneficiary. Don't know who's the trustee. But they've been sold a $5,000 trust. They've been sold a $10,000 trust package from somebody, and it ain't even the right type of trust that we talk about at the vault. They over here talking about, oh yeah, Trust Christian, I'm gonna just convert it the way we was trying to do with you, Trust Christian. I'm gonna do it that way. You taught us the system. Yeah. So the other people that you dealing with, that you know they ain't get it right the first time, what makes you think they gonna get it right the second time? They not. But we can introduce you to lawyers, accountants, enrolled agents. They're in trusteeship. They understand it. That's why it's the vault. It's people inside of the vault. It's not one person. You don't have, if it's one person, if something happened to one person, what's gonna happen? Ain't nobody gonna be able to get back in the vault. It's multiple people at the vault. Multiple trustee trainers. People that understand trusteeship. Most of the people we actually have as like advisors and
In our sector, when you come into the vault, ask for resources, most of them are trustees already, so they're aware of, how do we say this? They're already aware of multiple things in trusteeship. They're not just educated on one element of trusteeship. They're educated on multiple elements of trusteeship. So they do know about asset protection. They do know about asset appreciation. They are aware of liabilities, and they're aware of the many different terms, and they act as a role as a fiduciary. We appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. We always tell everybody, don't take the episodes personal if it's yours. But at the end of the day, we definitely know that it encourages people to say, okay, now I know how I can tighten up. Not that they know they want to tighten up. There are many people know they want to tighten up, but they just say, okay, now I know how I got to tighten up. You just show up and you be vulnerable emotionally. You're not crying and boo-hooing. You're not asking for, a tissue. You're just showing up. You can sit in a meeting and be quiet sometimes. You can write things on paper sometimes. But at least you showed up and people know they can count on you. That's the emotional bank account that you want to build for your family and for yourself. So the family knows that the family estate is taken care of, not because they fell off and they wanted to go out and trick, but because you stood up and you say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do the right thing, not because I feel like it, not because I want to do it, but because the family estate, somebody's got to set the standard, somebody's got to set the structure in place. Oh yeah, trust Christian, I set the structure in place, but my children are the beneficiary, which makes them tax liable. Are you serious? Yeah, I want to go there. Let's talk about it. Your children being a beneficiary makes them liable. That's why our program is about successor trusteeship. But that's how you know they're being sold a bag of goods on the public side. So much disinformation, misinformation, and it's okay. But we're here to say that you're either playing to win or you're playing not to lose. So you don't want to be the beneficiary, but you're going to make your kids the beneficiary? This is the difference between public and private. Who's the beneficiary? My children. Right, they're taxable. You don't know about inheritance tax? You don't know about estate tax? And just know, if you were doing it right, you would never deal with that. Why? Because that's for people that don't have the estate set up properly. Hmm. Christian at trustchristian.com. Y'all can feel free to reach out to get a consultation. Christian at trustchristian.com. We appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in, and a replay. This is definitely one of those go back and listen to again episodes. It's a trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. I don't want to be emotional about owning cars. I don't want to be emotional about owning houses. I don't want to be emotional about owning anything. And the sad part about it, you don't even own your kids. How you gonna own your kids when your children got a birth certificate and they're considered ward of the state? What are we talking about? They wards of the state by default, because you're not acting as a trustee. You're acting as a minor. It's that simple. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Thank you everybody for typing into the chat today. Looking forward to hearing from you all. Peace and joy.